Friends, residents, supporters, thank you for being here to join us for this rally. Singapore is a small country in terms of our population, in terms of our land mass. Hence, we have a single-tier system of government and a single-tier parliament, meaning unlike countries, we have federal, states, and local government. In Singapore, it's just one layer. Therefore, in our system, MPs, as the people's representative who represent our constituents, have two important roles to play. At the national level, to scrutinize and to debate policies, to deal with national issues such as the budget, the security of Singapore, economy, the social uplifting, education, transport, and many others. So there are many national issues we need to deal with, and some with long-term plans, some are very much long-term in nature. At the local level, the MPs also play a very important role to ensure that our day-to-day well-being of our residents are taken care of. So MPs got to come up with local plans to execute, improvement plans, address problems that the residents face, transport, we have dealt with a lot in our estates, in our towns. Seek more social amenities, more facilities for our residents, helping to resolve, for example, neighbor dispute, neighbors not having problems with one another, social assistance, cleanliness, including checking drains if we have to make sure that things are working well in our estates. I know some SDP candidates have said that MP should not be doing this. But let me tell you this is our responsibility. We need to take care of the national issues, and we need to take care of our residents' day-to-day life. This is our system. We have to be able to fulfill both these duties and responsibility to our voters. And we owe it to our residents to be able to tackle both issues, national issues, the long-term progress of Singapore, the long-term challenges of Singapore, as well as local issues on the ground that affects our residents' day-to-day lives. And if we cannot do both, or incapable of doing both, or unwilling to do both, then please move aside and let someone else take the job and do it. Clearly, from the campaign so far, our opponents have shown that they have no interest at all to look at local matters. They are only interested to get into parliament for the glamour, for them to make some noises there, for them to give flowery speeches. The candidates have no interest to visit our residents to hear their ground concerns. Have they seriously walked the corridors and staircase of our HDB blocks? Have they really walked through the private estates? I heard they just cycled through. I don't know whether have they really walked through. Before the campaign started, I heard from residents that they show up in a few blocks, mainly to take some pictures so that they can post it on their Facebook, on their website. They visited some blocks. One of my residents was very sharp to observe this. He said this group of people, they come, go up to a block, in the next 10 minutes, they come down. So this surely can go to the Singapore Books of Record for the fastest house visit in Singapore. To go in 10 minutes, you're able to engage the residents and come out. So obviously, they are not keen to do that. They are not interested to sweat themselves out to meet the residents at the doorsteps. They probably find this just too much of hard work and find this engagement to us, which is very important, to them, is a waste of time. And I can confirm this because in the last general elections, one of the candidates actually openly said that house visits, meaning going to pay a visit to our residents to hear their concern, is old style. It's a relic of the past. This is what they have said. And in this campaign, day after day, what do? They are only more interested to stage shows on their rallies, to do rallies, one day after day. With the help of teleprompter, they deliver very emotive speeches. I think those emo speeches reminds me of the Taiwanese election, how people say all these things and get the emotion up. In Taiwan, they call it the 悲情牌. You've got to tell some sobbing story to get the attention. So I hope everyone, our residents, I hope, not too long ago, you can still remember the crazy idea that have come up with, the SDP had put up in the lead up to the Punggol East by-election. Not too long ago, I think it's 2013. During that by-election, SDP was keen to contest. So they came out with this so-called bright idea, or the hot deal to the Workers' Party, which is that if they win the by-election, SDP candidate will enter Parliament to give speeches, and the WP will run the Punggol East Town Council. This is what they have proposed to WP. In other words, they are telling the Workers' Party that, let me have the glamorous part of doing speeches in Parliament, but make sure that estates are all keep clean and rubbish is clear, to borrow the words from Mr. Brown when he was trying to ridicule them. The Workers' Party obviously did not bother to reply them. I think the Cantonese word is say, choi le to so, no point wasting time to even respond to you. So you can trust our opponents to come up with such crazy ideas, and there are many others. We cannot have our MPs who are lazy to work on the ground and only interested in making speeches. If you are thinking of doing that, then you're standing in the wrong election. Our residents expect us to take care of both the national issues as well as the day-to-day issue. I want to say that again. So the choice is very clear for our voters of Holland Bukit Timah GRC. Do you want a team of candidates who just want to give speeches in Parliament and not bother about local issues? Or you want a team of MPs who is passionate and capable of doing both and to improve your life to secure a better future for Singapore? Talk is always cheap. Action is gold. So let's open our eyes and be careful. Many times in life, the silent, hardworking members of our house, are those that slot very quietly without complaints, are the ones that do the work. Don't be seduced by the occasional strangers who appear once in a while and tell you that they can speak up for you. The PAP team here is not a fly-by-night team. We are with you on the ground every week, every day, helping families, improving our homes, and building communities. This is what we stand for. At yesterday's rally, SDP's rally, Professor Paul Tambaya called me and our supporters xenophobia. I think he said border to xenophobia, when we were trying to express our genuine concerns about his plan to pay all foreign workers higher than market wages. He called us xenophobia. We're trying to express a concern. I think he's missing my point. Let me elaborate what I said, and so hopefully he can understand the implication and the impact. First point, what I pointed out to him is that by paying higher than market wages, which is minimum wage, which is obviously higher than the market, otherwise it's meaningless, to all foreign workers, it will push up the cost and directly hurt our households, hurt our families. It had to be passed on. The businesses will not just absorb it, you have to pass on. Do you call that xenophobia? Because I'm raising a concern that may impact us directly, our household, our families. Point number 2. Foreign workers continue to want to work in Singapore because they find our current wages, the present wages and conditions in Singapore attractive. In Ministry of Manpower exit survey, when they do this survey each time when, often when the foreign workers about to leave Singapore, they'll do some survey to find out from them whether, how the working condition here and so on. And many will express the wishes to come back to Singapore to work again if they can be given the permit. There are many who want to come back. And if there's the permit can be renewed, they want to come back. So foreign workers are not exploited in Singapore as what they are trying to imply. Point number 3. I have no issue if employers wish to pay their foreign workers higher pay. I have no issue with that. I'm happy for that. But it has to be based on skills, based on the value that the workers can provide, and the ability of the employers to pay those higher salary. And not because Professor Paul Tambaya said you must pay this salary and therefore we have to pay. It got to be based on the skills, the contribution, and then the affordability of the employers. So let's get real about all this stuff, because there are serious implications, there's serious impact to our household, our businesses. Of course, we hope that employers will pay Singaporeans more than the foreign workers. I think that's what we always want to. We want Singaporeans to be, the wages to be uplifted, to grow over time. And indeed, in the last few years, have seen good progress on wages moving up. I'll just give you an example on wages going up. In my estates, when we was fairly new, the multi-story car park, the cars that are in the car park, they are usually about 2 to 3 stories full. But after about 8-9 years, now the cars, are parking all the way to fourth floor, sometimes 5th floor. So it shows that our residents now, they own more cars. More residents own cars, and it must be because their income has gone up as well, and I'm happy for that. So we still want Singaporeans to be earning more, and but we do not want our Singaporeans to be priced out because the foreign workers in Singapore are getting lower pay. So there's this thing called the foreign workers levy, so that the gap between the foreign workers as well as the Singaporeans are reduced, so that they will not be priced out from the workforce. So this levy received is then plowed back, to help the SMEs by way of grants and rebates, such as the PIC, the ICV, to improve productivities and to reduce costs. So we still need that levies. It's necessary to disincentivize employers from overly hiring foreign workers at the expense of Singaporeans. So I hope Professor Paul Tambaya relook at his policy, study carefully the implications, and don't just come out a statement, a nice, fashionable thing to say we just want minimum wage and so on, and for all. I hope Singaporeans will all continue to earn higher pay. We work fair with progressive wage system, which is a more superior system. I'm sure we can continue to uplift the wages of Singaporeans. We have just celebrated Singapore's 50th anniversary, 50 years of our independence. And Singaporeans are all very proud of what we have achieved in the last 50 years. We gained independence under very difficult circumstances. We were kicked out of Malaysia. We did not become independent by our choice, but we certainly have made Singapore a country of our choice. So are we a failed state? Like what the opposition is trying to say? What opposition wants Singaporeans to believe in, that we have failed in many ways. I think we can see for ourselves. We may not be perfect, and that's why we have to continue to improve, continue to aspire to do more, continue to bring better lives for our citizens, for Singaporeans. That's why these are the plans that we have clearly stated out in the PAP manifesto, the long-term plan that we have to really make Singapore the best home, a secure home for all. Let's not forget that Singapore will forever be an island state with no natural resources. That will never change. It's not a case where over time your island gets bigger, not by very much, but reclamation won't bring you too much. Not that over time we'll have oil or whatever to come to our island. So we'll always be small, we'll always be lack of resources. Our vulnerability will never go away. Believe me, how can it disappear overnight? So as a tiny country, we have to constantly worry about who's going to bully us, who's going to take away our lunches, who's going to take away our job opportunities. I think that as a country, we are always faced with this challenge. Singapore is located in a rough neighborhood, and every now and then, we can expect larger countries, neighboring countries, some near, some further away, to exert pressure on us. And because we are a small country, so they always find ways to say, I want to pressure you a little bit here, I want you to do this for me, I want you to stop doing this. I mean, they'll always be there because we are a small country. So that won't go away, and it will continue to be there, which is why we still need a strong defense, we still need strong diplomacy, we still need strong economy and a united people. Countries around us will always be eyeing on opportunities that we are enjoying. They know Singaporeans are having a lot of opportunities. There are plenty of good jobs opportunities here. People are having a good life here. I mean, they the countries around us, or even further, they're always looking at some of this opportunity. Can we bring it to Singapore, bring it to their own country? Every countries or cities, will want to seek opportunities for their own people. I think that's, understandable. Many major cities in Asia aspire to be the international financial center, like what Singapore is, because that will create good value-adding jobs, good pay, good salaries. Many countries want to draw in more direct investments to be the service hub, to be the R&D center, and so on, because that creates jobs, that create opportunities for our people. So in this campaign, I have not seen our opponents address such external challenges. These are real and tough challenges that we have to deal with, but of course, they'd rather not get into it because it's not easy. It will mean, certain things that they want to do in their whatever plan they have, it will not be possible because there are all these challenges that we're going to deal with. So they just want to focus on issues that can win votes, those issues that they can scold the governments, even though they know this is the right thing to do, even though they know that we're doing this for the long-term good of Singapore. Because by scolding the government for every little thing, you win votes. I mean, that's how the game they're playing. Thinking and acting in the long-term good of Singapore, thinking very far ahead, is the hallmark of our success. And this is how PAP intends to do it. We always think long-term ahead. We built the SAF long time ago because we think we have to be able to protect our own sovereignty, defend our own self. We built the CPF system, we built the economic institutions, and so on. So I have not seen any long-term vision from our opponents on how we want to tackle the long-term challenges. For example, the aging population. We are facing this aging population. Our baby boomers are going into retirement. What are they going to do about it? Again, these are all inconvenient questions because the solutions will be tough, and then you will go against what they were trying to do. So what they will keep doing is saying that the government is not doing well, they failed, and so on, and then, to want Singaporeans to believe that this is not the government that we should vote for. Like what the lyrics of this year's NDP theme song say, it isn't easy to build something out of nothing. Okay, I'm not about to sing the song. I think we leave it to GE2015 to do it, in this rally. But, I find these lyrics very meaningful. It isn't easy to build something out of nothing. But it's also not difficult to destroy something into nothing. And, we just need a wrong government. So let's all be watchful of the opportunist politicians who may do that. Again, I say we are not a perfect country. The government is not perfect. We can always improve and do more. But in any case, there's no such thing as perfect country and perfect government. What we can do is to try to be less imperfect, build on our solid foundations, strengthen our fundamentals, so that we can not only be a survivable country, but a thriving city of hope for all Singaporeans, for our children, for ourselves, for our seniors. Thank you, everyone.